to watch. So we got brothers in all walks of life. We don't. We got 60. All right. Shalom, Israel with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We've been on these streets since 1969 trying to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians their true heritage and nationality. So Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan Qadash. Okay. Today we're going over in the past few weeks. I'm covering for Officer Aisha Yala, who's covering for the head of the class in headquarters, Officer Hazard. Give them both a hand. That's right. Now mainly, now mainly, I've noticed I've been auditing the brother. We could give him another hand. Aisha Olive. He's done a good work. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you this from the head of the second, really, if I'm not mistaken, of Sabbath service, Officer Kowal at the moment. He explained to me it is not an accident that the week ends with Hebrew and then you go into Sabbath service. Okay. In a perfect world, what should be happening is Friday is the chance to hone your skill. Saturday is the time to show what you've learned. Right? That's not an accident that one week you learn the Hebrew, the next morning you are literally, not even a day later, you are asked to show me what you learned. And in the spirit of this, the brother who's taken over the class recently, Aisha Yala, that brother's done the work of what's it called, going out and taking the Sabbath service, those verses, and breaking them down before you even get to them tomorrow. So any brother who's wise and sees what he's doing, even if you can't catch the class in time, like me, I get off sometimes midnight. I can still go back before midnight and know that in the morning, I've already listened to the class. I know all the difficult words because he went through most of them. So now I can just go into the service and know how to handle it. Right? So that's basically it. In that vein, we're going to cover a few of the verses that he's going over. So if you could read, start at 16 and 14.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 14. Isle. Han.
No. In English.
In English.
Slocky.
Yeah, this is better.
Nah, you talk about the English. Okay, so
he's ready to show it off right now.
Right. Bible Gashad, give me 15.
16 verse 15.
Right. Now, this is the birth of our father's first son, Ishmael. We're going to get the names of a few of our ancestors. No, this ain't an ancestor, but this is a fact in our history. This is, I'm not even going to call him my uncle. This is one of our father's kids with the maid. Our father had sex with the maid. It happens.
Genesis 16, verse 15.
Right.
Bear
Abram's son. She bare a son for our father after our mother asked her to. Right? Keep going.
And
like, don't get it twisted. Everybody talks about, oh, Sarah was evil. Sarah gave you a husband. And then you wanted to think you were better than the woman who pulled you out of being a maid. Like, you know, your life revolved around like waking up 2 hours before Sarah to make sure her bath water was hot and her meals were cooked, right? She gave you a husband. If Abraham did it right, I'll double check, but that means she couldn't really be treated like a maid after that. So she pulled you out of the life of servitude, and like, she didn't even just give you a husband, she gave you hers. But you got stupid, simple women who don't want to share a man. Look how bad it worked out for Abraham and Sarah. How did it work out bad? We kicked the help out the house, and we had a beautiful, lovely life and lived happily ever after. How'd that work out bad? Yeah, that African Actually, the African, her son's one of the most powerful countries on earth. Not powerful the Arabs are, but that worked out so bad for her. Keep going. Here's a problem. Like y'all simple women, Hagar couldn't keep her mouth shut. And because of it, her son suffered unnecessarily. He could have lived a little longer in the house, but he wanted to put fun at her son, which he learned from his mom. So you got to get out now. Right? This is Ishmael. Read on.
And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael.
Ishmael. Ishmael means God, well, yeah, God or the power hears. Right? Ishmael, the power hears. Right? Ishmael in Hebrew is Yah. Yah, Shemai. Yep, Salaka. Bear with me, y'all. I'm just Shemai, Allah. And now I'm gonna do it in the ancient down here, Yah. Shemai. Allah. Yah Shemai Allah, which means God hears. Or in Hebrew, this is how you would write it out. Yah Shemai Allah. Now, anyone who's familiar with Hebrew knows or has done the prayers is familiar with this name. What you want to do, I'm gonna help you out. Salaki, sir. Tell me not. This make the prayer Salaki, you know what I'm saying? This make the prayers like 100 times harder. You know what I'm talking about? Psalms 83. This verse right here. Yah Shemai. No. You got shot. Salakia. Shemai. Shemai Allah. You find this in the Hebrew. In the prayers. Yah Shemai Allah. Yeah. Right? Yah Shemai Allah. Yeah. Yah Shemai Allah. Yeah. Right? This translates to Ishmael lights. Tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Why Yashma Aliyah? Ahalia Adawan. Why Yashma Aliyah? The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Why Yashma Aliyah? Yashma Aliyah. Yashma Aliyah. Easiest way. Learn how to say this. Yashma 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 Yashma. And then just add the young. Yashma Aliyah. Yashma Aliyah. Yashma Yashma Yashma. That's how it becomes easier to just say and be able to do it. Okay. Kaya. Remember, understand, call is pain. Kaya comes from If I'm not mistaken, Kayayal comes from pain. Kayayal, comes from pain. Trooper. Okay, that's another hard one. Kayayal, because I know Kawal is painless or pained. Right. All right. Yashmaelium. Now next, keep going.
Verse 16. And Abram was 6 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
Meaning what? Abraham was 16 years old, was 86 years old when she gave birth. And want to say Isaac. That makes him 14 years older than Isaac. So you 16 making fun of a 2-year-old? I don't even understand that. All right. Baba Kashad. Hold up one sec. Go to 17 now.
Chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power.
I am the Almighty Power. Almighty is Shadia. Almighty is right. Shadia. Almighty. Right? Keep going.
Con, walk before me and be thou perfect.
Walk before me and be thou perfect. Be what?
Thou perfect.
Be what?
Thou perfect.
You must be perfect. Keep going.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
Right? My covenant. Covenant is Maya. Supposedly, this is where the word Brit comes from. We are the people of the covenant. Right? Bayat means covenant, or it means a testament. So there's a old covenant and a new covenant. There's an Old Testament and a New Testament. Like when you die, what is it called? Your last will and what, brother?
Testament.
Right, your last will and testament. A testament is a contract. Okay. Bariyah. Let me write it in the ancient, in the Assyrian. That's Shadia, and this is Bariyah. I want to say that. No. Bariyah, and now in the Assyrian. All right, Bariyah. Yeah. You're not. Okay. Now, keep going. Keep reading.
Verse 3. And Abram fell on his face.
Wait, you got 17, right?
17, verse 3.
Trying to keep on. Drop down. Give me verse 4. You actually read verse 3. Verse 3. So we know who's talking.
And Abram fell on his face. The Most High talked with him, saying, verse 4. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Thou shalt be a what?
A father of many nations.
Now, hold up. Let me just. That's 17 and 4.
Time.
Okay, now let me get that exactly in Hebrew so we can see what exactly came out of the Most High's mouth. I like doing that with names so you can actually see like exactly what was said. And why haya yatha and be you to Abba, Father, Ha Mawan, Goyam. Ha Mawan Goyam.
Still in the camera.
Huh?
Still in the camera.
Okay. Ha Mawan Goyam. Right? So the word they use for Goyam here is nation. For nation is Goyam. Goyam. Right? So read the next verse.
Verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee.
Your name will be no more Abram. Abram meant high father. The exact definition of that, I'm not exactly sure, but Abraham, Abram, high father. Okay. Abraham, hurry. Abraham. I could have wrote it all on one line. I'm not doing that. All right, so that's Abram, Abraham, high father. All right, and that translates to high father. But the Most High changed his name. The Most High said, "Don't call yourself that. Call yourself Abraham." Abba, Salaki. Salaki. Abba, Ham. Abraham. Father of many nations. Okay? So this is Ishmael because I'm about to. Ooh, let me do this one start. Salaki, I don't know why they made this so high up. They need to lower it again. Okay, Salakia. All right. So I feel bear with me, y'all. Trying to make sure this is right. Ra, A, Ra, M. Of many nations. Now in the ancient, Ba, Ra, Ah, Ba, Ra. All right. I'm only doing the Assyrian because y'all are using it tomorrow in the morning. Otherwise, I do not use it. I do not even like unless necessary. I'll ignore Assyrian. I'm not a fan of Assyrian at all, personally. And I got some little shucks. And that's one of the main reasons I don't like Assyrian. If you know Assyrian, you know what I just did it wrong accidentally. All right, so that's Abraham Abraham, which means father of many nations. That is the language or the name of our ancient forefather, or what his name was changed to. For all those idiots who say you can't change your name, Abraham changed his name. Jacob changed his name. Joshua's name is not Joshua. His name is Hosea. Joshua's a nickname. Joshua's a nickname that he got from Moses that basically just turned into his name over time. That Joshua's name is Hosea, which translates to the verb salvation. Yah, Yah in a sense can be used to like what's it called? Basically say like he is something. So basically, when you put Yah at the beginning of that, it's technically it translates to he shall save. But it can also in a way translate to savior. The exact translation of Joshua's name. That's a nickname that he got from a man. Speaking of Yahushai, Yahushai named a man, but y'all don't say that's God because you're stupid. And another thing, for those that are unaware, more than likely Taza War is Peter. Me and Officer have had that conversation. The P and the T is interchangeable, and it might have got mixed with the Taza. So Y is like a verb, so that would have been turned into like an E. So you really have the T, the E, and the R. But remember, in Greek, if you ever studied it or looked at it, P and T are like together, like Ptolemy. So PT together, ER. That's the Y and the Ra in Tazawar. Taza is one letter, so it's really Taza, Y, and Ra. So the P and the T together, that's the E and that's the R. Tazawar is more than likely Peter's name. So now we have Abraham from Abraham. His name was changed for whatever God said. God wanted him to have a more majestic name. You want to name yourself, every female wants to name themselves the next name, or a flower, or beautiful. Yeah, everybody want to have some cool name. Here's the thing. Abraham didn't come out and name himself. Right? Okay, we got these. We got Ishmael covered. Yashmael. Right? So that's his name. It means God hears. Not to be confused with Shemaiwan, which technically Shemaiwan is just here. Listen. For those, I'll probably get to the end of class, but there's a very good purpose for one, because if you don't understand like the reason for one, like you'll really be in a crowd. Without one, you'll be in a crowd looking stupid. Okay, real quick. Listen. Do I make any sense right now? I'm just telling you, listen. Listen. You see the problem? What does Shema mean? No, the bars to speak. What does Shema mean? Listen, or to hear. Right. Listen. I'm literally just screaming out, listen. You realize our names are words, right? What if your name is literally listen? And I'm trying to call you in a crowd. Listen. Listen to what? No. Listen to the person I'm looking for. Shammai. His name means technically affliction heard, but they took out the affliction part. His name is just Shammai. Without the Wan there, Wan or this exists to let you know a verb is now a noun. That's why the Wan exists. Otherwise, you'll be in situations like trying to call a person named Listen in a crowd and everybody thinks you're crazy. Wan is the simplistic way of letting the listener know automatically you are not dealing with a verb. You're dealing with a noun, but it's named after a verb. The guy. Yo, what's up? We about to fight? You saying for God? That means to fall. What's up? No. I named my dog Pagad. Pagad one. Oh, you talking to his dog or something? All right, come. That's a cool name for your dog. Attack. Right? Without that, you really will be in some messed up situations. Imagine you just walking out on the street. Yo, Pagad! Attack! Yo, what's like you name your dog something like that's manly and what's it called, but in the wrong setting, that's the wrong thing you want to say out in the crowd. The Wan in that instance lets you know that. Another instance, when I came up with myself, the dog This is another one that you should always pay attention to. These are just simple things. We're gonna get back to the what's it called. I'm gonna give you God. I'm gonna use E. Okay. Ya'akal Kalab Ha'akala Ha'nair. I'll even break down what the hell I just said. So you can say, what's it called? In English, that would translate to he ate the dog, the food, the baby. Now, break down this phrase right here. That's Hebrew. That is how Hebrew is structured. He ate the dog, the food, the baby. That's Hebrew. In Hebrew, it would be written something along the lines of Yah Akal Ha Kalab Ha Alaka Ha Nair. He ate the dog. He ate the dog, the food, the baby. John.
Yes, sir. What is the AHTH supposed to do? It's a verb, it's a noun.
No. Okay, A-H-T-H. Okay, well, that's what we're getting to. It fits in here somewhere. You've probably seen this in the scriptures if you've read it. What is, can you break this down without No? It's impossible to break this down without right? It's impossible to break this down because the way Hebrew is structured, there's certain instances where the subject needs to be properly identified, or else you literally have, he ate the dog, the food, the baby. I'll give you a simpler one. In the beginning, in the beginning, created the powers, the heavens, and the earth. That's a little simpler to understand, and everybody pretty much knows that verse. Is there to let you know the heavens and the earth did not create the powers. The powers created the heavens and the earth. The subject is the heavens and the earth. You understand? So now let's put that properly. Now in Hebrew, in a situation like this, in a situation like this, when it's like of something, like or descriptive, you would put the in both. Or in an instance like heaven and earth, they're both the subject, so both of them require an You understand?
So it's the subject.
Right, the subject gets the Okay? So now that you understand this, what is this actually trying to say? Who ate what? I'll give y'all a sec. See if anyone online wants to try to answer that. Who ate what? Right.
The dog ate the food, the baby ate the food.
No. Okay. The baby's there really to help you understand that anything in the like Ibadja is a call. Ibadja, Akala. Ibadja and Akala, Ibadja's food would both, Ibadja and food would both receive an Just like a definitive. There are instances. Okay, Haggadah Ha'itza, the big tree. In Hebrew, I really just said it. The tree.
Can you stick to just this one sentence?
Okay, yeah, copy. So meaning, meaning the food, the baby. They both get the definitive. The.
Can you please describe what you wrote in Hebrew? Can you please describe each word?
Okay.
Ya'akal. What is that in English?
Technically speaking, Ya'akal is he eat, or it can also mean he ate in the past tense in certain instances, like this one. He eat or he ate, right? Hakalab is the dog. Is unrepresented in English when you look it up. Basically, it's not necessarily a word, it's just a descriptor to help you understand the next word or to understand the sentence itself. So if you were to look up it'll tell you unrepresented in English because English doesn't go out of its way to let you know the subject because it's such a stupid language. It has its own ways of putting it directly in your face with the subject.
So halakha, is that the food?
Halakha is the food. Halakha, notice. Oh, shucks. That is completely my fault because I messed that up. Yeah, I definitely did. Ha-kala. Ha-akala is the subservient of a call. Ha-akala. That's completely my fault, y'all. Right? Ha-akala, and ha-nai. So this is the food, and this is the baby. So like I was stating, I forgot I put these both had a definitive in this. And instances like this, when it's like the two words are combined, like food of, or usually I don't want to use the term like descriptive or like together, like possessive, but in terms like that, the what our oppressor calls the definitive article, basically the is attached to the word, and that's the rule for a lot of it, a lot of attachments. If it's like a word like this, like a descriptive, you want to always have both sets, the adjective and the noun, to have whatever definitive, like Kalab Aragaman, while what's another animal in Hebrew? I know. Alap, Alap, Adawam. The pink dog and red ox. But if you notice, I said and red and ox. That's how it works. You understand? Because you get the adjective and the noun. Both, to my knowledge, have to have that preposition at the beginning. Like both receive the preposition. Because the words are together. So the preposition would stay the same. Right? So now you have Yaakov, Hakalab, Haakala, Hanai. Okay? He eat or he ate, and that's what I was saying earlier, sir, about getting a better understanding. Because I was going through the book, or Sahajahab has, because I downloaded it. If you need it, I can send it to you. The book that teaches you the fundamentals of Hebrew and verb breakage, because they'll tell you straight up it doesn't use traditional future, present, past. They like have qualitative, quantitative like forms, and like the way they break it down, because it's similar to like patois and other languages that we use. It's like this can mean both he eat and he ate, depending on your sentence structure. He eat the food and then he dipped out. Eat in that sentence is still past tense. We don't change. And that's literally how we talk now as people. Right? So it's like you have to know like the inner workings and how it is, and then break it down better. But yeah, basically that's it for those. I was just giving you a quick breakdown and rundown of these right here. One, af. So af is identify subject. Right? So that's what af does. Af identifies the subject of the sentence. Right? So that's mainly it. There's a lot of words you're going to find like that. Af is all over the scriptures. You'll find it, and that's why, because there's instances where what's called that one I just made, this one right here. Yeah, anyone can use it if y'all need to use it for teaching purposes. But that was one I came up with myself, but you'll find it all over the scriptures. Come.
Can you read that in plain English? What does the baby have to do with that? I don't understand that.
Baby, okay, meaning.
What are you trying to say?
Okay.
The dog ate the food?
The dog ate the baby's food. The reason the
dog ate the baby's food.
Right. That's why you have hot in both instances. Because it's baby's food. You understand? It's a descriptive. Like Ibaj's food, or a Thomas food, or a Yatadar's food. Or basically when it's a descriptive, the subject and the noun. Yeah, what's called, well, in that sentence, it's two nouns. But you understand what I mean. Basically, you would put the preposition on both.
I said, "Oh, eating the baby."
Actually, the reason, okay,
What are you trying to say?
no, okay, here's the reason for it. How do I say it? Basically, the reason for it is that the brother, what's it called, so you can get a better understanding of how a sentence can be completely misconstrued to the point where it's unrecognizable in English without the aids. Because this is how a sentence would be in Hebrew. He went, the king, Shemaiwan, like what's it called? He went, the king, Shemaiwan. That could really, like, there are certain sentences that really don't make sense. Like I said, names and names are nouns and places and so on and so forth. Shemaiwan could be a place. Shemaiwan could be a person. Shemaiwan could really be like what he's doing. Without the yod, in certain instances, it literally just sounds like you're saying words. Like I just said, he ate the dog. He ate the dog, the food, the baby. Huh? That sounds like random gibberish. Once you have the op there, it helps a non-speaker. You okay? To a point, it's training wheels.
If I may,
Yeah, got
it's basically, Thomas, to show you like each language, right? Being that I speak Creole and French, like each language has its structure and its humor. So for in English, if you say the baby's food, right, it's apostrophe, that food belongs to the baby,
right,
right? But if I use Creole, I will say manger bébé, the food of the baby. There's no apostrophe S in Creole. There's no
right,
apostrophe S in Hebrew to shorten it to say the baby's food. It will be the baby, the food.
right,
You have to know the humor of the language to not translate it word for word. There's certain times if you translate something in Google Translate, it would be totally off
right,
because Google is translating it word for word.
right,
But when you understand the humor of the language, you know it's not saying the baby the food, it's
right,
saying the baby's food.
right,
But you got to know the humor and the structure
right,
of the language, otherwise you will be lost
right.
word for word.
And another thing you got to remember, this is a language where of and the Spanish de are hardly ever used. Like we have shawl. Shawl is of, but no one ever uses shawl. It's literally food baby, food of the baby, baby's food. Children of Israel, Banya Yasharam, children Israel. Of is hardly ever spoken in Hebrew. Same thing with is. Is hardly ever spoken. Most times, is will be what's called is won't even be in the word. The subject will just be added as a suffix. Like Aisha, he is wasted away. Aisha is wasted. Wa is he. So the wa is at the end of Aisha. So Aisha wa. Wasted away he. That's literally what you're saying. But it's implied that obviously it's is in the middle of that. So that's how Hebrew works. Like you said, there's humorisms with each language. So I gave y'all a second to get these. So were there any other confusions? Because I don't want you to leave. Because mainly what it is that
Thomas is still confused.
John, what's so what is
What
it?
does this have to do with the scripture?
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to relate it. I
No, okay.
don't see it.
What's called? I was going off so you can understand what these mainly mean as far as these rules as far as the language. Because these are things you'll constantly see no matter when you're reading. You will always see because it's imperative to understanding sentence structure, even in ancient times. It's like, notice, I was never phased out because the way the language works, you'll literally be sitting there with a verb and three nouns and have no idea how these form. You understand what I mean?
I'm still trying to understand the basic sentence structure.
Right. Okay.
You know, so
Okay. Yeah.
to me, it seems like the sentence structure is out of order. So trying to,
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean out of order compared to English?
so I'm trying
Okay.
to still understand
So
how a sentence is supposed to be structured.
okay, how a sentence is supposed to be structured.
Right.
This is a prime example. Usually,
the dog ate the baby food, but in this
Right.
way, you're saying ate. You're saying the verb first.
yeah, the
and you're
verb. No,
saying
in
the
Hebrew,
noun.
the verb always comes first. In
Okay,
Hebrew,
That's what I mean for a
Yeah.
sentence.
right. So usually in Hebrew, verb comes
Verb
first.
comes first.
However, when in Hebrew, our verbs, I'm not going to use the terminologies and such that Esau uses, but our verbs pretty much tell you the entire sentence or the entirety of what's going on. The doer and the subject are a lot of times, oftentimes, entered into the verb. Yabarak Bracham, he blessed them. That's a sentence, but in Hebrew that can literally be a word. To prefix, preposition, and a suffix connected at the beginning and end of the word. He blessed them. That's it.
Let's just stick to this example.
John. So
Ha kalab is the noun or the subject in this case.
the subject would be ha akala ha nai. That's the subject.
Wait, how's the baby and the dog part of the subject?
The subject is because the subject would be the thing that was done, the action that was done. The baby food. This is who did it. Wait, hold up.
No, you said the dog ate the baby food. That's what
Right.
we're trying to say.
Right.
The dog is normally the subject or the noun in English.
Right.
So this would be the noun then. Ha kalab would be the noun.
Hold up. One sec.
Or the subject.
Okay, the subject would be the thing that's being done, or the thing, what's called, meaning the boy played basketball. The basketball is subject. Right, no, I'm trying to explain it to you. And if I may, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm teaching, so you don't tell me what I stick to. Do you understand? So, yeah. Put your hand down. I'm teaching. Do you understand? Come. So as I was saying, the subject would be.
So like that, ask instead.
Right, come. Because right.
Don't be out of order.
Come. Okay.
Raise your hand and ask a question.
Come. The dog. So meaning like this is the thing that's doing the action. So what's it called? So a point. Hold on one second. Let me just. Okay, because it's a bit different in Hebrew because they would consider the second thing somewhat of the subject. But to a point, you can consider the dog in a way the subject. So what it is the verb and what we consider the subject, meaning the dog, the thing doing the action, and then I guess the object or the thing that's being dealt with. So what you have is the verb, the subject, and the thing about it is that's not always the case because the baby food can come before the dog, and that's why off is important. The baby, you can literally say he ate the baby food, the dog. You just have to put ah in front like you always do. And that's the point. Ah is important. That's why it's important.
Let's move from this example and use scriptures and sentences.
Okay, so go to Genesis, the first chapter.
To break down the scriptures.
Go to Genesis 1:1, and I'll give you an example of it. You can put it in blue letter Bible chapter. We can see it on the board. Okay. Apparently contracted from 226. This is 853. In the demonstrated sense of entity, meaning the thing that's being dealt with, properly sub, but generally used to point out more definitely the object of a verb or preposition, even or namely as such unrepresented in English, not translated. Okay. So you got some versions. You have Genesis 1 and 1. Give me Genesis 4 and 1. It's 1 and 4. Well, you have 1 and 1, right? You can pull it for right now. You have it, brother? So let me see what that looks like.
What you waiting on?
You got it, brother?
Genesis 1 and 1.
Yes.
Khan on Khan.
Come.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And if I may, read it in Hebrew. But leave out the off.
Bara Asha Ya.
In the beginning.
Bara.
Bara, created. Or create.
Alahaya.
Alahayim, the powers. No. Leave out the off. Off. And that's another thing. Off would also receive a preposition if necessary. Like you'll see next, the off in this one has a wa. But leave out the off for this time. Ha, Shemayim,
Hashemayim.
and then Ha Arataza. Or technically in that instance, Waha Arataza. Right? So now, technically what you're writing is in beginning created powers heaven and earth. Now, like I said, this one's a little simpler. Some of these are simple and easy to do without. The one again, once again, there's a little simpler because what's called, everybody knows this verse. But what's called, people who don't readily understand what powers is, they'll think powers is another man. Right? So you have three nouns created. They won't understand power to be a person. They'll just think it's two places. They'll think it's an entity, which is what it is. Right? So now we have next. You got it?
No.
Okay, come. Get in? Okay, next go to 1 and 4. We're gonna get that one in Hebrew. That's another one.
Khan. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness.
Okay, now Baba Gashar, if you could go into the Hebrew with that one.
Wayara. Alahayim. Af. Hawar.
Right? And he saw
Kaya.
and he saw the power light. The light. Right? Now, what it is there are certain instances and certain verbs that require an off. Like eating requires an off, seeing requires an off. Things that can be somewhat misconstrued if it's not automatically what's called. Because you have to understand, it's not necessarily that there are certain instances and certain ways of speaking where off is necessary, where it is necessary to put in these extra things. Like, John. John. Okay? In the beginning, creative powers happen. Right? So in an instance like this, you want to put off as well, so that you can. Oh, so I put it on. You want to put off in an instant. Salakia? Oh, he was on the phone. Ah, right. Okay. So you still a bit confused, or? Salakia, I wasn't thinking he was going to ask too many questions on it. I was just giving a brief understanding of it, but since you asked more about it, I went into it. Let's see, 4-1. Let me see how that works. John, I'm here. Okay. Okay, and you got another one. Okay, because you got this one. Watalad af Kwayan. Technically speaking, yeah, that's a good one. This is easy because of what's called, this is a woman.
Can you use another marker? This one is
yeah, okay. Now, this one's easy because it's a woman. But, matter of fact, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the sex because it's exactly the same. This is why af is important. Yalad. Kwayan. He bear came. He bear came. The exact, this man, now I made it harder for you by changing the sex. What's actually supposed to be here is the lie. The reason I did that is because it's a little simpler now. The lie, quiet. This is, you can reference Genesis 4:1. She bear came. And the thing that makes it even worse, her name's not mentioned technically. Her name, because they have an apostrophe here, if you can see it. If you notice, there's an apostrophe, and then it says Wat Alad Af Kwayan. But if there is no Af, you're literally just stuck with the Lad Kwayan. We know that a man's not Cain. Cain's a woman, not a man. No, a man, not a woman. So we can basically translate that one without any help. But how about this? He bear Cain. And notice, as we learned earlier, usually, what sentence structure? Verb before the noun. But this is the whole verb, this is the whole phrase. This is the whole sentence. He bear Cain. You could, and technically, he begat, or he conceived. This could be technically saying Cain's having a son. But when you have off there, it lets you know Cain is the object. Someone bear Cain. And that's the purpose of off. Because there's certain sections, like for instance, this is another weird one. Like we just broke down. Subject goes before verb before subject. This has ha'adam yadai af hakara. and what's called literally translated, and the man knew Eve. But the way we're traditionally taught, that should be Yadai, Waha, Adam, Hawa. So the sentence structure changes. And because of that, because the sentence structure is so malleable, so to speak, we have to have certain rules. So even in that malleability, it can still be easily understood what's being spoken of. So we, at some point, more than likely, Adam himself took the language and said, what are words that we know as descriptive words, or words that would require an of, like eating and seeing? Things that require a subject, then an object. I just slept. That requires no object. I'm going to sleep requires no object. So sleep wouldn't really require an of. But some words require an of. Drink, obviously, like eat, because you drink an object. Maybe work in certain instances, and there's some that might be interchangeable. A lot. And this is why we have, because there's certain instances where the way the language is set up, you can't readily understand it. Right? We're going to finish this off. So the next name, okay. All right. So now that we got all that done, we have Abraham's name, right? Got a little bit of what's it called, and why do I do this? Because since we're all here together, all learning, I wish we could do a class like intermediate and beginning and all that, but they keep it this way. Yeah, cons. I'll try to make sure everybody gets a bit to fit their what is that? Their not competency level, their skill level. So everybody's just not coming back to beginner training and then just by themselves afterwards. Con. So we got Abraham's name. Let me go back to 17 and 15.
Chapter 17, verse 15.
Yes.
And the Most High said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be
Sarai. Sarai. I want to say Sarai. Right? Shara. I'm gonna leave it like that. Well, Sharia. Sharai means, or Sarai means diminutive, meaning humble, peaceful, right? He wanted her to be known as something else. He wanted her to be known as princess. All right, Sharai. And what did the other name change to? Read it again, Baba Bishara.
As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
Do you know what Sarah means? Sarah is the feminine, subservience of Shar, right? Sarah means Shar, rather, means prince. So the subservient, or what they call in our present refers to as the quote unquote feminine for prince, would be princess. And that's why when you go on Facebook, you find a million women calling themselves princess or Shara or Sarah. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It just shows that's the only bit of Hebrew you knew, and you left it there probably. You don't see too many of your sisters like really study Hebrew like outside of school. They just learn what's a pretty name? Yapa. What does that mean? Pretty. Good enough for me. Right? Shara. Salami. Shara. Don't mind me. I'm a wreck. Oh, shucks. Sarah. Shara. Shara. Okay, let me get, and I'll put the Assyrian here, the space. Yep, and this is Shar. Now, understand, you will find this word as captain as well. Shar can be captain. We use Sarun, but like for instance, the angel for Joshua. When Joshua asked the angel, "Are you friend or foe?" He introduced himself as the captain of the Most High's army. When you look it up in the Hebrew, that's Shar, the Hebrew word for prince. Shah or a prince. A prince does not have to be Ban Malak, son of a king, right? A prince is anyone who's in high authority underneath a king. Like a vice president can be considered prince. Secretaries of state, to an extent, can be considered princes. I don't know if you consider an advisor a prince because they're more mainly this is what you should do, and I don't really have too much necessary power. But a prince is usually someone who's delegated and given power. Well, I want to say delegated, designated rather, to have power underneath an ultimate authority, if that makes sense. So that's prince. Okay, we're going to read on. So now we have Sarah, Babu Kashar. What is it? Khan, keep going.
Verse 16. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea,
Khan, keep going.
yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations.
She shall be a mother of nations, right? Now, if you understand our culture, we do not have queens, right? We have princesses. So that's what he wanted her called. He wanted our mother. Yo, I'm sorry, but like finding that out, the mother of all black women is literally named princess. That is the blackest thing I've ever heard. To me personally. Okay? Now, that's where her name comes from, and we're about to get another name, where that name comes from. Read. Drop down to verse 17.
Verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face,
Right.
and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
And he laughed. Now, he laughed. Laugh is tzak. This is to laugh. Tzak. Right? Tzak or tzak. I'm pretty sure it's tzak. That's what you call me, tzak. No, Yatzak. Right? Tzak. Tzak is the verb to laugh. I always make my H, the L's and the H's. Laugh. verb. Now, you're familiar with the preposition for verbs, right? We just covered one earlier, the prophet Joshua. His name means he shall save, which is Christ. He shall save. Right? Now, what's the subject we're speaking about here? Abraham thought it was a good idea to laugh at God when God told him his 90-year-old wife is about to have a baby. That's laughable in reality. That's a very laughable thing to say. You're 100, your wife's 90, y'all about to have a baby. Okay, we'll see about that. So he thought it was a good idea to laugh at God. God had the final laugh. Read on. Shall a child
be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
Keep going. Keep going 1 second. Keep going. Oh, sure.
Verse 18. And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Meaning what? He didn't care about it. He just wanted it. He didn't believe that this would actually happen. Keep going. So he was
Verse 19. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed.
Sarah, your wife, will bear you a son indeed, right? Keep going.
And thou shalt call his name Isaac.
What?
Thou shalt call his name Isaac.
His name is Isaac. Yeah. Right? Isaac. Right? Just make sure you got that right. Going. Salaki, keep going.
Come. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant.
Yeah, the ox. Right? This is Isaac. He laughed. Understand, we serve a living God that has this thing called the sense of humor. Certain things are lost, like the foreword to Ecclesiasticus says, if you do not understand it, you will not understand the Bible. If you do not understand Hebrew. This right here is a very big joke. Basically, translation, so you understand what happened. You thought it was a good idea to laugh at God. God said, you won't be laughing in a year from now when I'm proven right and you're now forced to name your son. He laughs. And every day you'll see this boy, you'll think, I thought it was a good idea to laugh in God's face, and now I have to name this boy this. He laughs. He laughs. This is just a, I look at things like this. This is a funny joke. Oh, you think that's funny? Okay, name your son, he laughs. Oh, you don't believe me. When he comes, his name is he laughs. Baby, I'm pregnant. What? Maybe not his words, so I don't laugh too eventually. Right? And that is why it's important to learn the Hebrew, because you won't understand the basics about our language. Like I just had to go into a whole, you know that law of the captured woman? You know how we teach straight up that is civil wars only? That word only comes up for Israelites. That word for a woman who is captured, that word for captivity is only ever used for Israelites. If you do not know the Bible, someone can lie to you and tell you it is okay to take captive women hostage. Like I was talking to Sammy Davis guy, like the Jewish man literally uses that scripture to say, like that any woman, like right now in Palestine, if they find a woman right now, she's automatically a victim of assault. That's how they look at it. Mind you, that's them going in and taking care of heathens. So that means in their mind, obviously if we go in there what do you think the Jewish soldiers are going to do? They're going to do that. So we must automatically assume they're all touched and assaulted. It's the opposite over here. We have a law that says you can't force yourself on anyone. So I'm expecting that you're smart enough to know not to do that. They're bastards. That's why we come in here to learn and not. You understand? Yeah, they don't understand our language, so they think you can play with the Hebrew language. You cannot play with the Hebrew language. The language is what it says it is. There's a spirit to things, but if you don't know that spirit, you're going to be lost. Like in one spirit, the word for rape, the word used is kazak, which means to strong arm. In one verse, it's used to insinuate assault. In another verse, it's used 7 women will grab hold of one man. That's both kazak, strong arm. It's about spirit. Our oppressor does not understand that. Let's take another example. Kazak. This word is also used for Isaac and Rebekah being caught, being friendly. Isaac did the same thing that Abraham did. She's my sister. Someone caught them being playful together. Doesn't say they were doing anything, just says they were being playful together in a manner that ain't have to be consistent. But if you ask your wife right now, what the kids doing? Tazak, they're playing. I'm pretty sure they ain't doing the same playing we was doing last night. It's about spirit. And that's what matters. Our oppressors don't understand this. Since we're on that topic, and since we're dealing with them now, we probably, that won't happen until the 20th, so he'll probably deal with that in the next 2 weeks. But simpletons not understanding this and the conflict between this man and his older brother is why we have all the things we're seeing on the news right now. Understand, this is not truly Yatzak. What you're seeing in the Middle East is not Yatzak. Came out of Yatzak, but that's not Yatzak. Yatzak's children are here lost in the Americas, don't even know that 2 idiots are fighting over their house. But you have idiots today. Yatzak's idiot son, who thinks he inherited something that he actually didn't, literally fighting Abraham's older son for inheritance. Neither of these people have a claim to what they're saying. Neither of them are correctly the children of Isaac. They are not the children of Helash. They are not the children of the father of many nations. I can pull that. I can pull straight up. Ishmael is not their child. Right? But yet, that's what you're seeing in here. I'm going over this now because this is what you're going to be seeing a lot tomorrow. We're going to be covering a lot of this and Sodom and Gomorrah. We're going to get those names in a second. Right? So now you see the birth of how Isaac got his name. This is one of the funniest names in the Bible because you have to understand, like, certain people get certain leeway with God that normal people would not get. What do I mean? A man laughed at God and lived to tell the tale. His children lived to tell the tale. Do you understand that? So to put this in context, a man with a speech impediment who caught a body, literally murdered somebody, and had to go on the run, was told, go back to that place and do what I tell you to say to the highest person in the land. I can't. You know I can kill you, right? We're about to have God had a screaming match with Moses when Moses did not want to go back and give a message that he did not know how to give, did not probably have the or verbal capability to give, and he literally killed somebody and left because he was on the lam. None of that matters. Go and do it. Abraham, I'm 100, I'm gonna have a baby, you look stupid. Okay, no sweat, no punishment, no nothing. Name the baby, he laughs. That's it. That's the type of level of he had with Abraham. And you know what's so sad? After the straw incident, y'all want to go party in the wilderness. Okay, no sweat. How about y'all not do that? And I'm not even going to give you bricks. Make your own bricks. Yo, what the hell? You made things harder. I didn't have to deal with your father like this. Our father laughed in his face. But yeah, our father just, well, you saying I'm gonna have the baby? All right, I'm just gonna have sex with this woman. Oh, you did have the baby. I guess God was right. But he's been right the past 40 years. He told me to leave here leave my family when I'm 60. And now I'm a goddamn, basically a billionaire. I own a big portion of the Middle East, and everybody in this place respects me. And if you ever go anywhere near my wife, God will destroy your country. That's not a fact. That happened twice. 2 people tried to sleep with Sarah. Because of Abraham's own lies and deception, God still destroyed their country. Right? What's it called? And here's the thing. Y'all think y'all have that spiritual power over there in Jerusalem because y'all lost 1,000 soldiers. Y'all, here's the thing y'all gotta understand about our oppressor over in Israel right now. They're trying to be so magnificent. Like, when you see the greatness of our oppressor, like, y'all have slavery. Is anybody over at home having slavery? Go home, look at your withholdings. Look up at the television, see all the nice stuff they have for their military, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force or whatever. You paid for it. It's not general. If you pay taxes to the United States government, you are paying Israel's army. You're not just paying their army, you're paying for the stuff for their army. You know how many billions of dollars we give them? But we're so great and da 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 da. I'm gonna just help y'all out because y'all probably using the Persians. The Persians took out the Babylonians, who took out some, meaning what? A chunk of the Babylonians' wealth wasn't originally ours in the first place. So when the Persians said, no, we will finance the building of your temple, you're giving us the money that another nigga stole back. Salakia. So to use that logic, you're stupid. You don't actually know what you're talking about. You're using, like, what's it called? They're using Persia, because remember, the Persians took out the Babylonians, who took us out. And if you remember during Daniel, he even told them, what's it called, when he had their hand right on the wall, y'all stole out his temple. Y'all stole his wealth. That's a problem. And right when he was about to fix it, God killed him. And then right after that, the Persians came and they gave it back. Right? That was our wealth to begin with. Y'all are using my wealth, not my lack of wealth. The average person on minimum wage only makes about 500 after taxes. No, 6 before taxes. So y'all gonna take what little bit I have to feed y'all peoples? That's not my problem. Right? And that's the problem that we have in America. What's it called? That's what we're experiencing today. You have 2 groups of people that are fighting for something that isn't this. They're not the children of Helaps. Those are the children of the wild men. Because I was talking to General Hyman about this. Right? He said, what it means by he's wild, he'll go into the craziest. When it comes to Ishmael, there is no, we got rid of all the weapons. There's no way he can do anything now. Until we wake up 9 in the morning, yo, watch traffic messed up. Oh, some Arab rented a U-Haul and took it speeding down the West Side Highway. So literally, he didn't get a knife. He didn't get a gun. He went into U-Haul, said, hi, how are you? Hi, I'd like to rent a U-Haul today. Oh, I'm just going on a trip. Yeah. You know how that thing was possible the other week that the Israelis are mad about? Do you know how the Arabs got inside of Israel? They hang glided. Understand, this is how determined you have to be. You're going to strap yourself to something that you probably got to lift off into the air and then jump off. You got the gun either like this and you taping yourself to the side of it, or you got the gun somewhere and you're hang gliding like, oh, I'm going to kill these people. That's Ishmael. That's how he gets down. I don't care how outmatched I am. Me and my boys, we are going to take rocks and we're going to throw them at your tanks. And we're going to stand there and let you shoot us because we're not cowards. That's Ishmael. He's a wild man. Here's the difference between the nation, black Muslims, even the ones who try to be like, no, we're not like the nation, we're like real Muslims. Them cats and actual Muslims. Here's the truth. I don't think no real Muslim really believe in that. Either no real Muslim truly believes in it, or 72 ain't enough. That's also my personal belief. Why 72? Why can't it be like 1,072? Like 72,000? It's eternity, right? So what I'm gonna do when I'm done with all 72 of them? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's another thing. They don't what's it called? They don't want to go into that. They don't. How do I say? They don't actually believe it, and you'll find that in the Bible. We don't respect other people's religious beliefs. Like, yeah, white Jesus is convenient for now until white Jesus is saying, hey, put this gun, what's it called? Once white Jesus says, we need to go to war and fight Putin. Yeah, that's white Jesus. What's it called? I'm Muslim, beam pies. Yeah, you'll see more people come into the truth once the Christian church starts saying we need to prepare for World War III. Yeah, no. Black people is with the stuff until you actually have to do something. We'd rather serve God for all that. And that's actually the truth. Right? Okay. Give me verse 20.
Verse 20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful.
Right. And they're very fruitful. They own a big chunk of that land. Keep going.
And will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
Right? And I will make him a great nation. And that's what we're talking about. Ishmael became a great and powerful people at one point. He became a great and powerful people. But that's not for him. At this moment, he can live and do as he pleases. He had a good run. He got to stay in our land for a nice moment. But now the Most High's tired of that. And now he's saying, before you get a little too comfortable, because my children are about to come back in a second, I need you to be reminded, y'all don't actually belong in most of this. Right? And that's what you're seeing on your TV screens. You have the children of Esau and the children of Ishmael fighting over Israelite territory. Anybody else? Salaki. So let's go to 18:1.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 1. And the most,
Okay. Yeah, go.
And the Most High appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre.
Right.
And he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day.
Right. Give me verse 2. Right. This is the Most High coming to talk to Abraham.
And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. When he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground.
Right? Bowed himself toward the ground. And we're going to read about Sarah laughing too in a second. Okay, now drop that. Give me verse 6. Because he's about to ask to feed them. And since we're on the topic of the Jewish men. Okay, let me explain something to you. Well, you got it? Okay, read what you got. The Jewish man does not know our culture or our history at all. Keep going.
Verse 6. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah.
Right.
And said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal.
Right.
Knead it and make cakes upon the hearth.
The hearth, right? Around cakes upon the hearth. Like, let me look exactly. Keep going. Go to the next verse. I'll look it up. A hearth.
Verse 7.
Tom?
And Abraham ran unto the herd,
right? The floor of a fireplace. So basically the stove.
and fetched a calf tender and good.
That's the what?
A calf tender and good.
And this is why this is important. Keep going. And gave it.
And gave it unto a young man.
Gave it unto a young man, right? And
he hasted to dress it.
And he hasted to dress it. Okay? To dress it means to get it ready, to do it. Okay, yeah, Khan. And it's now read this next verse. This one is important.
Verse 8. And he took butter.
He took what?
Butter.
Took what?
Butter.
Keep going.
And milk.
And what?
And milk.
And what?
And milk.
What is butter made from? Milk, right?
Con.
Keep going.
And the calf which he had dressed.
Right.
And set it before them.
Right. You see a problem with this? You have to know Jewish people to understand what the problem with this is. My thing is, no Jewish person has ever noticed this. You familiar with Jewish people and how they operate? Because it is a sin to Jewish people. Jewish people believe you cannot eat meat and cheese at the same time. No, yeah, meat and milk products at the same time. You cannot do that. So wait, they can't eat mac and cheese and fried chicken? Or does it have to be the same dish? I'm asking, you know? Right? Yeah. Kyle, what you gonna say?
Cheeseburger?
Yeah, no. It's like, I remember Cameron Zayak went with his rib one time to Israel. They do not sell cheeseburgers. He had to wait to get back into the States in order to be able to buy one. They do not eat cheeseburgers. They do not eat meat and cheese together. But read that from the top.
And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them.
Mind you, this is God and two angels. This is the Most High. He's literally feeding meat and cheese. Imagine he literally came with a whole ham. I'd have to look at the Bible and be like, well, Abraham fed it to God, though. So if Abraham fed him meat and cheese, what does that mean? What's acceptable? Meat and cheese. I am perfect and my law is perfect. That's somewhere in the Torah. I don't break my law. Meaning what? I don't break the law. Yeah, that's God talking. So if he's sitting there saying, I will eat a cheeseburger, guess what you can do? Eat a cheeseburger. Like, what's it called? Our people, we don't understand the basics of what's it called. I thought we were going to go into Sodom and Gomorrah today, or we was at least going to touch on it. You guys will end off a little before that. Okay. I'm going to just get it for you anyway. Saddam. And Saddam is literally like the old dictator. Literally spelled the same. Because he spelled it with an A, right? Two D's and an A.
Saddam
Hussein, yeah. Yeah, John. Oh, Salaki, I ain't actually finished giving y'all stuff. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, he spelled his name. That's literally how it's spelled, y'all. Yep. Okay? Yeah, it's done. Right? And Saddam, you're not going to cover it tomorrow because you're going to end off before. But those are the main words you'll probably need, or the names. All right. what was that? Saddam, meaning volcanic or eruption. I have to go back and double check if that's. I gotta talk to Captain Zaryak because there's two. Because a lot of that, I don't know for what exactly the reason, but a lot of things scholars debate, like the timing of the scriptures, so on and so forth, even though it's pretty much known the exact timeline, like probably like 100 years off or something like that. But certain things like Sodom and Gomorrah, there's two ideas of where that place is. One of them is a highly prosperous region, or was highly prosperous. And that, more than likely, I think that's the truth. It was a heavily prosperous region. Because look how the Most High destroyed it. The Most High didn't give them a disease or give them AIDS. He completely destroyed that region. And scientists, I'll go back and find the information, and maybe I'll put it on my Facebook. According to scientists who excavated and did their research, they said because of this, the people of this region would have been extremely wealthy, and because of that, that would have made them extremely idle. And as they say in the world, idle hands are the devil's plaything. Somehow that translates to let me kiss men. And that's how you get Sodom and Gomorrah. Similar to San Francisco or ATL. ATL is a big place for black business, which means what? You have a lot of black entrepreneurs who go over there, become wealthy, and now you have the city you do. Khan, what were you going to say? Notice a lot moved there for opportunity purposes because he wasn't getting a lot of money, and him and Abraham's men were fighting over like little stuff like where to feed the sheep and all that. Khan, what are you going to say?
Salakia, sir. The Yatazakat. What is the English word of that?
Technically, that would be he laughs.
But was that Ishmael?
No, that's Isaac.
It's Isaac.
Right. So you have Saddam, Sodom, right? And one thing about God that I find very funny, he already know what you're gonna do. So he literally will sit there and contemplate in and of itself, don't even want to like deal with you. Because remember, he literally consulted with the angels, like, do I want to tell this cat what I'm about to do to these cats? Because I already know he's gonna beg about his nephew. Right? And that's exactly what happens, volcanic or bituminous. Now, the reason I bring that up is because for those who are interested in, I learned from everything. A movie I watched one time let me know volcanic based places can, in certain instances, under the right conditions, make soil very fertile and better, right? Because what it does a lot of times is that those deep rocks that don't ever get touched and that just makes fresh groundwater and like cleans everything, finally gets put up to the top. And that's exactly what happened. So more than likely that might be an area similar to that. I'll look up the video because there's a video that literally just breaks down. This was a very prosperous place, and that probably led to the mentality they did because they had an idle. Nobody had to work. Imagine you move to a place and everybody gets their own gold mine, like that. And like every year you're gonna make at least 200K. That type of place. Like I said, Lot specifically moved here when him and Abraham's shepherds kept fighting over little stuff like, yo, I'm supposed to water my sheep now. No, you over there to water your sheep. Yo, it's too much. Let's just split up. And that's what happened. Okay, so this is Sodom. Sodom. Saddam. I'm not going to put the exact definition, but that's probably it. Volcanic. To that extent. Okay, and Gomorrah. Imara. There is no G. Huh. Ruined heap. I'm gonna reference these. Hold up, 6014. That's a subservient of Imra. Yeah, I know it. Imra. Ruined. That's what you get, or I'm gonna talk because these might not be these might be what we just caught them. That's why I didn't put Saddam, but maybe I will. Eruption. I my I ruined and eruption. I'll put those up so you can understand them and have them. You probably won't see them this week. You'll see them for next week, but you have them. Time is up. I made them go a little early. Did you have any questions, brother? Were there any questions online?
No.
Okay. Okay, okay. You did wait, you got to breeze out soon or?
When you finish.
Okay, no. All right. So yeah, Con, because I just heard from P. That's all. Okay, Con. So that was pretty much it. Those are the verses. Those are pretty much the words you're pretty much gonna have to know tomorrow. So Salaki, if you could, give me 18 and 10. Genesis 18 verse 10. This is where we're gonna end off. And this is
Genesis 18, verse 10.
that one. And he said,
I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. Lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind her.
right. Keep going.
Verse 11. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age.
Right.
And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
Meaning what? She was out of eggs. Sarah was not meaning what? So we're clear. Sarah was not a barren sister. She was just an elderly sister. Meaning her eggs came and gone. It was not like she was afflicted where she never had any or she had complications. She just, for whatever reason, never had. The Most High chose not to open up her matrix until she was 90. She was a completely healthy sister, and that was it just didn't happen for her. And yo, their age, even though there's no necessarily, so long as it's lawful, their age difference lets you know that brothers was not doing nothing stupid. There's a lot of idiots don't understand. Khan, keep going.
Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself,
Right.
saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure?
Yeah, pleasure. Keep going.
My Lord being old also.
Meaning like we're both about to have some pleasure right now? Question what that is. 13. And the Most High?
And the Most High said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a certainty bear a child, which am old?
Meaning, why's your wife laughing at you? Why's your wife laughing at me? And let that be a, what's it called? You're going to get dealt with first. Let that be a reminder. God's not just, he didn't walk out the tent and say, hold up, one second. Yo, woman, why'd you laugh at me? He went to her husband first because that's proper order. I was offended by your rib. Why's your rib laughing? Right? Then he did this. Keep going.
Verse 14. Is anything too hard for the Most High? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
And here's the crazy thing. In all honesty, I think after Isaac was born is when that woman truly came into the truth. Because remember, 2 years later, God said, my son's the only one who's going to have this. God said, my son's the inheritor. You mean the God who said, what's it called, a 90-year-old would have a baby and he made that shit come true, made that come true? Yeah, God said, that's a maid's child. Kick him out. Notice the flip. Yeah, okay, this nigga said I'm going to have a baby. 2 years later, yeah, no, God said kick the maid's son out. Yeah, they got to go. They don't belong here. Yeah, sometimes it takes Most High showing you I'm not playing. When I say you will have some, you don't get any sleep anymore at 91 years old because you thought it was a good idea to laugh at me. No sweat. Enjoy your terrible twos. The terrible twos got so bad, I believe you now. Kick this baby and the son out the house. She's no longer a maid, so it's not like she's helping me with my baby. Shoo. You and that 16-year-old can leave. Keep going.
Verse 15. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid.
She knew she got in trouble. She knew she offended that man. Keep going.
And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
Right? Thou didst laugh. Right? And that's why he has the name he did. Because his parents thought it was a good idea to laugh at God. Why does Ishmael have his name? I didn't really care to break it down. We tried to kick her out when she was pregnant. God basically gave her a little mercy and said, you can go back home. That's literally the truth. And because she got that mercy, God hears. And with that, I pass the class over to the police and officer. Y'all. I'm going to fuck you guys. Yeah, God. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. We just don't put the cop. I think his name is.
Clap it up for the class. Son of Christ, ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, they will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, verses 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming convocation, which is going to be the feast of Hanukkah,
Right.
which that's for the year called Hanukkah or Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, yeah.
But the proper way to say it is Hanukkah,
Okay.
which stands from Kanak, which means to dedicate, right? It's the feast of dedication.
Right.
All right, and that is going to be Thursday, December 7th, sundown. Make sure you come to 2279 3rd Avenue in Harlem, New York, or go to isupk.com and find a school near your location. Right, make sure you check the bulletin board at your school. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, and headbands and scarf. And if you want to be a sister, make sure you speak to your camp leader. And a visual, imagine still. Imagine. Visual. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Barak. Go. To the sisters, Yahweh Shema Alatah Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Yajim Matah. Dismiss.